Hey everyone, this is Dan. Let's talk about Qualcomm. If you have not seen my last Qualcomm video, which was published on February 21st, you might want to look at that. That was a very detailed analysis of Qualcomm. I look at the charts and I also look at fundamental analysis. The video lasted for about 20-30 minutes and had a lot of good information. This particular video is going to be a short one. It will be a continuation of the February 21st video. In that last video, I touched on several things. First, I talk about the stock price trend in the last year and also talk about the most important news that have affected the stock price. And I went into the charts. Then I look at my own valuation of Qualcomm, look at other analysts' opinions, and look at patents and lawsuits related to the company, as well as the general industry landscape and the competitive advantages of Qualcomm. This is a recap of one of the charts from the last video. As we can see, in the last year, Qualcomm went from the lowest point of about $58 per share to the peak of 167.94 a share. That's more than a 100% increase. And I mentioned that I bought some shares on May 20th and November 30th. As of last time, on February 21st, my gain was about 33%. Since then, the price has dropped a little bit, primarily because of sector rotation out of the tech sector. I will talk a little bit more about that. This is the latest daily chart for Qualcomm. Today is Sunday night, March 14th, and as of last Friday, March 12th, Qualcomm closed at 129.98, and it has fallen 22% from the all-time high of 167.94. As you can see in this chart, the price came down here and bounced off this red dashed line, which is the 200-day simple moving average. And then in the last 3 days, it has gradually climbed back upward a little bit. Is it a time to buy yet or not? If you look at the indicator, DMI, there was definitely a sell signal about 3 weeks before, and then confirmed by a sell signal from MACD on this daily chart. Looks like MACD is just about to turn bullish, although we're not sure yet. The blue line and the beige color line are intersecting. If the blue line can go above the beige line, that will be a bullish buy signal. We'll have to see what's going to happen in the next couple of days. There's a very important piece of news that came out in the last few days. On March 12th, this particular article and other articles mention that Qualcomm smartphones are the next devices to get hit by chip shortage. In the article, they mentioned this global chip shortage that first hit the automotive industry now is expanding to affect the electronics industry, including the cell phones as well. In the meanwhile, they mentioned that the demand on Qualcomm chips increased because of the US sanctions on Huawei's HiSilicon division. It is actually a positive piece of news for Qualcomm because of the rapidly increasing demand on Qualcomm chips due to the Huawei sanction. Maybe that's driving the shortage. And then in the meanwhile, because of the weather in Texas in February, one of Samsung's fab plants in Texas has been down from February 16 and doesn't expect to be back up and running until mid-April. This particular plant produces chips for Qualcomm as well as Samsung, although Qualcomm also sources other chips from different fab plants around the world, so I'm not sure to what extent this particular Texas plant will affect the overall supply of Qualcomm chips. We have to stay tuned as to what's happening on the news front in the next few days. Let's look at the hourly chart. In the last 4 days, the chart has started to turn bullish. You can notice that the price has been trending up this channel, although as of last Friday, the price came down and actually went just a little bit lower than the previous low, almost at the same line at about 127. So that's going to be a very critical support point. Starting tomorrow, Monday, if the price comes down and bounce off this line and start going back up again, or maybe starts going back up before touching this line, that's a very bullish sign. Of course, there's a very important resistance level, which is right around this red dash line, the 200 period simple moving average, as well as this horizontal line of the previous height of 133. If the price get above 133, that'll be a very bullish sign, and I will most likely buy more shares. Now, in the meanwhile, if the price gets below this 127 critical support point, I will be very watchful, and especially if it gets below this 123 support point, I might sell some of my existing shares. As far as the indicators on DMI, we saw a sell signal as of Friday morning, and MACD also a sell signal Friday morning on the hourly chart, but then it has started to turn up, and at this point we are almost getting a positive buy signal from MACD. I'm pretty sure if the price goes up to about 131 or 32, this will turn positive, and that'll be a fairly bullish sign. Of course, it's not completely bullish until the price can get above 133. Now, if I'm going to be doing swing trading, I might wait for the price. If it does drop to close to 127, and if it does bounce up, I might buy. So the worst case scenario is that it might start going down again, then I will sell. So I could probably make 1 or 2% profit just from the swing trade, depending on whether I'll be paying more attention to other stocks or I'll be focusing on Qualcomm next Monday or Tuesday. That's my own personal trading strategies. I'd like to mention at this point that I'm not a financial advisor. I share my trading strategies for educational purpose only. You should make your own decision with regard to buying or selling stocks and should probably consult with the financial advisors before you do so. I'd like to mention that if you like what you've seen so far, I would very much appreciate if you can click the like, subscribe, and notification button so you'll be notified when I post an update video in the next few days. And this is also for the sake of the YouTube algorithm. Let's continue. This is our hourly chart again. What I'm doing here is I'm superimposing the QQQ chart with the QCOM chart. QQQ, as you probably know, is a ETF that's pegged to the NASDAQ index. If you look at the price progression in the last month, QQQ pretty much has been in step with QCOM and vice versa. Except in the last 4 trading days, QCOM is lagging a little bit behind QQQ. And that's why I might also wait for QCOM to start picking up and make sure it's actually moving up faster than the QQQ before I buy a lot more shares. In the meanwhile, as long as I see any bullish signs on the hourly chart, I might start nibbling and buying small chunks of shares. There has been sector rotation going on in the last couple of weeks. Primarily, it's been rotating out of tech stock and into energy stock and the recovery stocks such as airlines and cruise ships. In the last 2-3 days, it seems to be coming back to tech stocks, and that's why Qualcomm and other stocks such as Tesla and Apple have been picking up as well. So I'll be watching carefully the movement of QCOM in the next few days. Hopefully, it'll move upward a lot faster. Let's look at the fundamentals. Compared to the analyst opinions from February 18, 2021, pretty much all the ratings have been the same, with the exception that Yahoo Business moved their average target down a little bit based on multiple analysts. It moved from 172.27 to 172.16, which is almost no change. And Yahoo still gives Qualcomm a buy rating. No change from Louis Navellier in the last month or so. TipsRanks.com, no change. CAN Money, the median price target changed from 175 to 172.5. Again, it's a very small change. And TheStreet.com target changed from 189.98 to 167.74. That's a fairly substantial change. As far as my own evaluation of the company, this is the calculation I did on February 21st. At this point, I see no reason to change my price target of 160 to 180 by the end of 2021. So I'm holding on to my target. My conclusion is that my target for Qualcomm is still $160 to $180 by the end of 2021. So that'll be a substantial increase from today's price of $129.98. And of course, the all-time high is 167.94, so there's about a 22% gap that we could bridge just by getting back to the all-time high, which will hopefully happen soon. In the meanwhile, I'll be waiting for more definitive signs of bullish momentum building up before I purchase more shares of Qualcomm. If you're watching this video a few days after March 14, please make sure to check the update section below this video in case I've entered update notes. And if you like what you've seen so far, I'd like to remind you to please click on the like, subscribe, and notification button for the sake of the YouTube algorithm. As usual, I welcome your comments, questions, and suggestions. This about wraps up my video for now. I will chat with you in the next few days. In the meanwhile, I'd like to wish you the very best of luck.